Good evening, folks. Welcome back into the DotaPit League Season 2 group stages with Cloud9 versus Denial Esports here in Group B. Of course, our second game of the series about to get underway. We just had quite a long Game 1, and I gotta say, it was worth the wait to see the ending. A climactic finish, to be sure. Eternal Envy sitting at about 40k net worth with a Divine Rapier, Abyssal Blade, pretty much everything you could think of in terms of farm. He died, didn't get the Rapier at the end, but unfortunately, that was Denial going down. Cloud9 get their first victory. Fortunate for them, as they do start off to a good start here in DotaPit. Again, my name is Mott. I will be joined again by F4L, as always. F4L, how the hell are you, man?
I'm doing good. And yeah, like you said, the end of that game was really exciting, but we had a pretty good wait to get to that ending. There's like probably 30 minutes of not really too much happening in that last game.
It was just kind of sit back and farm for about 30 minutes or so, like you said, and not much action. A bit boring, but it was exciting in other aspects. It was really, really cool to see Denial control the map the way they did. And they're going to look to do that again because they pick up the Beastmaster, and they're just going to try to get an early gem, get the Scout Hawks out as much as possible, and then just kind of take over the map. But this time they won't have that dire side advantage, although some would say that doesn't exist anymore. I'd say they're probably wrong. It's honestly going to be very interesting to watch and see how this develops in the draft, because I think the Beastmaster was a good pick last game. I don't know about this game.
So the dire side advantage, it definitely exists still in like going later into the game. But I think Radiant still has quite an advantage in the laning stage. Both the pulling on the Radiant is far superior than on Dire, as well as the offlane being better for Radiant. So I would say it's pretty balanced. In fact, most teams choosing Radiant most of the time, but you know, Dire still has an advantage, I would say, in the late game in terms of Roshan, particularly. And Cloud9 go ahead and first pick the Shadow Demon again, and they're going to go ahead and pick it up with the Elder Titan this game. So
that's frightening. That's not a combination that you... Well, it's not really the combination. It's just the Elder Titan in general. Although Disruption into Stomp could be pretty bad in its own right. But, I mean, Elder Titan's been picked up a lot. I think he's probably been the biggest comeback in this patch in terms of heroes that haven't been picked, then all of a sudden have been picked like crazy. And I think you could thank Secret for that for the most part.
I mean, we did see a lot of Elder Titan mid for a while, even a little bit in the off lane, but now we're seeing a tremendous amount of this hero, and it just scales so well into the late game. And I think that's why he's sort of come back into this patch, because most games tend to go a bit later than they used to, and you really have the chance to really abuse that natural order.
The natural order becoming significant later on, and I mean, anytime you can get, what is that, 100% physical reduction, armor reduction rather, and base resist reduction.
It's 100% base armor reduction and 33% base magic reduction. So
it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But, I mean, you know, the problem is getting levels with the hero being used for early on in the game, especially as a support. If you're in the off lane or in the mid lane, there's no problem getting those levels, but those aren't the best matchups for him right now. And on top of that, I mean, you won't be able to get CS if you're put in those lanes generally. The Spirit nerf really made sure that he wasn't going to be able to get that much CS in regards to facing off against another hero. That was a while ago, a couple patches back. Now he's used primarily as a support. He's quite good. Treant Protector picked up for Denial. Their old standby for a little bit. And it's quite a good hero, I think. Living Armor.
And
yeah, it's good.
Fucking Mad picking up from his predecessor, Goblack, who he used to play with on... What team were they
Quantic?
back then? It was Quantic? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, Quantic. And so going back to that, they really like these really tanky support heroes. So I think in the last game they didn't really show it, but I've seen them run a lot of Treant Protectors and LOAs in the past. Not necessarily together, but they just like these heroes. They provide a lot of tankability to your team. They're very supportive in nature, and I think they have their place. And especially when they've already shown both of their support heroes, and neither of these have a real good way of dealing with the Treant armor, it's quite a good pickup this game.
Yeah, it's I think it's a smart choice, smart decision. I don't know if it should have been picked second. I'm
Yeah.
not sure it would have gotten banned by Cloud9,
I
but
mean, both of these picks are, you could probably say, aren't standard as far as either their pick location or just being picked in general, for that matter.
yeah, I'd agree. And also, maybe the Beastmaster gets banned second phase from Cloud9. I can understand that after what happened in the first game, but I don't see the necessity to pick the Treant here. Although,
I think they played the Beastmaster extraordinarily well last game. That was probably one of the best usages of Beastmaster I've seen in quite some time. They did a really good job using the Hawk, and they did an excellent job. Once he picked up that gem, I mean, you could just see it from Cloud9. They couldn't do anything for the next 20 minutes. They had to play extremely careful. They had no map control. Denial were able to get, I believe, 3 Roshans consecutively with no contest, and they used the pick extremely well. I just think they were sort of outpicked just in the sense that it was the gyrocopter and he was just getting killed every fight before they had any real defensive capability. But they really played the Beastmaster extremely well last game, and they're going to go ahead and pick up the Lycan.
this is a really good pick. This is a really solid pick. It's a lot of melee heroes, yes, but at the same time, you provide him enough survivability with living armor to keep him alive. Roar's going to allow him to lay into whatever hero they want to. The only way you're going to, I think, bring him down is either getting a Ravage off or a Stomp. A Disruption might help. Demonic Purge isn't going to do much there. And it's a smart pick because split pushing is going to be really solid. He'll be able to take down towers. He is on the Radiant side, mind you, so that maybe is an issue for Denial Esports, but at the same time, I think this is a good hero.
Yeah, it's also a hero that's going to go for the Vlads and the AC. So, and that's part of your standard item progression. So anytime you're against this Elder Titan, it's really intelligent to pick up a hero that wants to go these items. You know, a lot of times you're sort of forced into these items on heroes that maybe you don't really want to buy them on. But, I mean, that's just a standard item path for Lycan, so...
Well, they will pick up the Faceless Void for Cloud9. This is a good counter pick, I think. Make sure the Lycan can't run away. Chronosphere is going to be super huge to have. And this is just, it's a guaranteed team fight if you catch heroes inside of it. I think this is a good choice. And on top of that, it provides, I mean, Elder Titan is going to be nearby, so Natural Order is going to be in effect. These two heroes together are damn good. I'm surprised they didn't ban it out, actually. Stomp will be there, Earth Splitter will be there, Tidehunter will be there with Ravage if necessary, or he could even start off the fight with that. So suddenly this becomes, you know, more of an issue on can we not get caught out when we're split pushing? Can we not get Chronosphered? And how effective can we shut down this Faceless Void? How effectively can we make sure he's not getting any farm?
I mean, I think Void will be effective in the late game, but in the early game, I don't think he's actually going to be very effective in this game. They have the Treant armor to throw on whoever Void focuses in the Chrono.
Right.
They also have the Treant ult to sort of lock him down inside the Chrono. So, you know, it's not a terrible pick. It's just like, and where are they going to lane the Faceless Void? They already have the Tidehunter, so is that going to be a safe lane Void? And we've seen the issues that safe lane Void does run into. You know, it's not really the best one position hero just because you can't really go up and hit a building. You don't really want to start a fight. You really want to be that sort of counter initiator with the Chronosphere.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I think you're right about the fact that you're not getting much damage done in the early game, but that's not where they expect him to be a force, like you mentioned. It's more so the late game, and even mid to late game, I think he becomes kind of an issue. But Jakiro picked up for Denial. This is a really good pick, I think, and more than likely going to be a support Jakiro, I think, although this doesn't provide that much lockdown if it's Tree and Jakiro support duo. So they could lane him elsewhere as a core, but it could be Beastmaster mid, Jakiro off lane, but I doubt that'll happen. But more than likely, I think it's a support in this situation.
Yeah. It could be a core. And they're going to go with the Death Prophet last pick. Wow. So that's last scary. Picking the Death Prophet. Death Prophet actually going to be a really strong pick this game. So they're going to have... So Void no longer really has to be doing that much damage in these fights. He can just pop the Chronosphere on... You know, if he can get it on 2 or 3 heroes, that would be great. And then the Exorcism is really going to be doing the majority of the damage at that point. And Exorcism, quite good against the tree armor. Going to be able to remove that extremely quickly. Cloud9, I mean, this draft is very greedy coming out from them. But if they're able to survive the early game, I think they're going to have tremendous mid-game power with the Death Prophet and Faceless Void, along with even the Tidehunter and Elder Titan. I mean, all these heroes are so good in the mid game.
And they picked the Witch Doctor last for Denial, and they want to make sure that they have something to work with inside the Chronosphere, assuming Witch Doctor doesn't get caught in it. And on top of that, Cask is pretty good for preventing aggression, but Voodoo Restoration as well as a nice heal is going to provide some boon to their team. I mean, Trio Protector plus Witch Doctor, the regen is real. Now, the question is, how much is this actually going to do? I mean, it's just a Witch Doctor. You shouldn't have too many hopes. However, the Rubik last game for Mad did some work in that game, so there's always the opportunity and the option that they can get something done with this pick. And honestly, this is probably going to be a game where you see Faceless Void farming more than you'd expect. I mean, you see Faceless Voids all the time. They pick up Treads, they pick up Mask Madness, and then they start fighting. This game, because of what EE did last game, I think Envy probably just farms up a couple more items. And I imagine he'll go for a Mask Madness. I don't see him maybe going for Midas, but I think it's going to be a more farming-oriented Void than we were used to seeing. So
I wouldn't be surprised, though, that if Denial put on a lot of aggression, they might even go for an aggressive tri-lane with this THD.
And that actually could be difficult to deal with. But it looks like they're going to forego that. I mean, Liquid Fire could be really good, but they just don't maybe want to deal with Stomp. They don't maybe want to deal with Disruption. Going against Disruption is kind of frustrating because you think you have a sure kill, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like it just slips through your fingers. But regardless, this is going to be our second game. The last game of the day. And, well, almost a criminally underwatched series. The first game was absolutely amazing. I know there's a lot of Dota going on today, but, well, for Cloud9, you've got Eternal Levy. He'll be on your face. He'll be on your Faceless Void in this top lane. We'll, of course, have a support. Pile I Die playing your Shadow Demon in this game. Mid lane, it's going to be Fata playing your Death Prophet in the mid lane. Down bottom, Bone 7 on your Tidehunter. And, of course, that leaves AUI 2000 on your Elder Titan. So, picking up some tricks of the trade from Bola, one of his friends, obviously, in the scene.
To battle.
And then on the side of Denial, in the off lane, we're going to have Funzy playing the Beastmaster. In the mid lane, it's going to be Jaral playing the Lycan. In the safe lane, Paris on the core Jakiro. Fucking Mad supporting him on the Witch Doctor, and Creo on the Treant Protector.
Yeah, so Creo's going to walk out front looking for the 0-minute rune. Creo should take this. AUI can't really get close. Mad might grab it as well, depending what the... It's an illusion, unfortunately, for Creo. It would have been better if it was a haste or a double damage rune. More so anything, a haste would have just been amazing for him to pick up. But he doesn't have such luck, and he'll have to go back down and just use the illusions to scout everything with. Ward in the jungle will block the creep camp here from spawning. So the pole camp might need to get dewarded. There is going to be an immediate smoke from Mad and Creo. They might actually head top, and I think they're just going to wrap in mid and try to get a kill early on this Death Prophet. DP easily gankable without Witchcraft.
Yeah, but the lane is in a really good position for Fata, so I'm not sure if this gank is actually going to be very fruitful.
They're going to roam in. Creo's here. Leech Seed first level. They do have wrapping around to the backside. Mad's going to come in. There's going to be the Cask as well. It's going to bounce to the range creep. How unfortunate. There's the Leech Seed. Now the Howl going in for Jaral. Fata buys a TP scroll. He knows he's dead. First blood goes to Mad. Okay. Good gank coming in. That was nice.
They get that nice, fortunate Cask bounce back.
The range creep.
That was actually a very odd gank. Because the tree popped the smoke. I think had Fata just completely ran away after the tree smoke was popped, he might have been able... Seeing that, he might have actually... I think he was actually... He got a false sense of security because of where the tree was, but... Cask does end up bouncing back to him, and they are able to get the Leech Seed off and pick up that kill.
It's a good start, to be sure. The kill did go to Mad, so he's the one getting the extra gold. Now they're going to head back bottom. And by the way, this is going to be the core Jakiro farming up at this bottom lane, so they really want him to get his Yules early on. And then Bone 7 really can't fight in this lane. They have Howl now. The Leech Seed's going to go. He's just going to pop up his Anchor Smash, but Creo's just right-clicking him, and Bone 7 doesn't seem to care. He does have the Stout Shield, mind you, but he's still taking a lot of damage from this lane. And this is without Witch Doctor nearby, so... Bone 7 getting harassed, a really nice job coming in. I think Mad might throw down a sentry here at the Ancient Attack at some point. Not yet, maybe. Bone 7's going to try to get the 2-minute rune. It's not going to find it. Mad will pick up the haste rune, but just forcing up the support to grab it rather than maybe the carry or the mid laner.
When he does end up avoiding that Anchor Smash, he's going to get a ton of right-click damage onto Bone 7 right now.
He's trying to avoid the second one as well. Bone 7 just walking away underneath the tower, and he's going to stay here for a period of time. And now, Creo's going to come in as well on the backside. And so Bone 7 just get ahead of the jungle. He is level 3. He's got 2 points into the Anchor Smash here, so he could jungle pretty effectively. He's got a stack as well if he wants it, but I think that's maybe not for him. Maybe for the Death Prophet. Actually, he has a medium cap stack he can work with. But as we continue onward, it's just a 2.5-minute game with a lot of last hitting going. Obviously, Death Prophet getting off to kind of a rough start because of that kill. The death, rather. And actually, Gerald getting up to 13 last hits with only the DP having 9, surprisingly enough.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit surprising to actually see Bone 7 going for this Stout Shield build. I actually would have rather seen a Ring of Protection with all the regen that he picked up, just because I think it's a bit more effective, specifically on Tidehunter, as this doesn't actually stack with Kraken Shell, so...
It's kind of interesting. He hasn't picked up the Crack Shell yet, and I think he's just holding the point because he has the Stout Shield. So one of the reasons why. He doesn't have mana to Anchor Smash for another 4 seconds. So he's got to be careful. This does get free farm down bottom to Jakiro. His Tranquils are done now with 400 gold at the bank. He'll continue to farm up with no problem, no issues whatsoever at this point. Matt and Creo are going to continue to, I don't know, pull, it looks like. And this is going to be a single pull. So they want to put as much pressure on, I think. They were trying to chain, and they missed it completely, actually. So this is going to push in and allow them to get more pressure on the tower if they want. AUI has taken the experience down bottom, so they're splitting up the farm pretty evenly. He's looking for the 4-minute rune. He's actually just walking. He's going to try to fight now on Mad. He has Astral. He has Stomp as well, but I don't think he could really kill him. We could just kind of zone him out. But the 4-minute rune, Mad picks up a DD. AUI has to immediately run away. That's too much base damage coming out from Mad that he has to deal with. And AUI is actually just going to be under his tower. And Mad... The creep wave is pushing in. He can actually just stay here and maybe dive this.
Yeah, they're probably going to look to put on a lot of pressure on this tower, and if Aoi gets too aggressive, he might end up falling.
There's going to be the cast going in. It's going to bounce once, the double damage, doing some work. Bone 7, Ice Path. This was not a good TP. Anchor Smash is going to go, but he should fall here. Stomp's going to fly in, but Bone 7's still dead.
Oh,
that was a bit
actually
questionable.
as well.
Yeah, he has treads. He doesn't have chrono though. He's only level 5. Matt still has a double damage rune, and EE could take a lot of damage here. There is a living armor coming out from Matt as well. EE has to back away. AUI has no mana. He does have mana for an Astral, but not for both Astral and Echo Stomp. And so they want to defend this tower, but EE can't really get close with the Chronosphere. They don't have the damage. They have living armor still. He's going to try to deny this, but I think for the most part, this should be a free tower. And in fact, they're going to Ice Path as well. There's the lead sheet. He has to time walk away. Maybe not. He will use it up in the end, but that was a really weird set of plays coming out from Cloud9.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the EE TP. I understand Bone 7 TPing, trying to delay the push, but I mean, that TP was even a bit questionable. A little unfortunate, just because EE during all that time isn't farming. He's not really getting up all the experience that he wants to be getting, so...
Yeah, and Funsy gets a lot of the golden experience that he was missing out on. It just is returned to him, essentially, in the top lane as well, because they're not putting pressure on him. Well, maybe they are. EE jumps in. There's a bash coming in. Again, no Chronosphere. Had he had a Chrono there, he probably gets that kill, but he's not so fortunate.
I feel like Gold's Denial... starting strong in this game, up to about a 3,000 gold advantage at 6 minutes. Experience fairly even at this point in the game. If you look at the CS...
Yeah, it's pretty good. 37 last hits for Jarrell, and actually 39 coming out. The Chikiro has got almost a Yules. He actually just needs his Void Stone, which is kind of ridiculous. So...
really cheeky by Pilot Eye. He ends up disrupting the Witch Doctor at the rune, and then uses the... illusions from the disruption to go ahead and deny up that rune.
Not sure what the rune was. I didn't see it.
It was an illusion.
Okay. Matt has
just
gotten
preventing...
a lot of rune control. Yeah, it's just making sure they don't grab it. However, Jarrell gets the bounty anyway, so not that big of a deal, I suppose. At least not for him. His wolves have been doing a really good job of not only harassing, but making sure he...
Paris nearly up to his Yule Scepter. It's 7 minutes in the game.
Yep.
He's only 400 gold away from this.
He's got to pop the Necropyre and try to secure more of it. And take that other kill. And yeah, he's very close.
And he's putting tremendous amount of pressure on this bottom lane. This tower already down to 900 life with the last Liquid Fire. He's going to go ahead and Liquid Fire that again. And how does C9 actually defend this? I mean, we talked about how greedy their draft was. they're really strong in the mid game, but in this early phase, they don't really have. They can't really do anything.
This is kind of tough for them. They have level 1 Exorcism. They have level 3 Witchcraft. If they want to try to defend, they might need a couple more levels on Fata. AUI is not really bringing anything just yet. He has Stomp at the least. Bone 7's been in the jungle for a while, just kind of farming. And he's only level 4. He is tied with the Beastmaster, so there's that. They have Chronosphere now, so maybe that's one of the ways they defend. He's got to try to, I imagine, get to a Mask of Madness here.
Yep, and Yule's now completed on the Jakiro.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, if you don't catch the Jakiro in a Chronosphere, he's just going to Yule's you, and it's going to be, I think, maybe over. They kill the bird. They're actually going to pick up a rune as well. Exorcism is going to fly, and Funzy takes a lot of damage from that. Cast goes through. Funzy's staying alive, but here comes Giral. They want Mad, and they might get him. No. He actually stays alive. Voodoo Restoration plus a
might go down too.
Pilot getting chased down by Giral. Nice juke, but I don't think it's going to save his life. One more right click from Giral. There it goes. He secures the kill, and that'll also secure his Vlads as well. So 2 for the price of 1 from Denial. Pretty good.
And really well played from them. They not only get the kill onto the Death Prophet, but only losing... Who did they lose there? They only lost Funzy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they lose the offlaner. They end up getting the mid and the support, so really good trade from them. And the Exorcism is burned, so that will be on cooldown for another 100 seconds. And that's 100 seconds where C9 really can't put any pressure on Denial.
I mean, this is where I think you can get away with putting more aggression on this bottom lane. They are rotating back in Witch Doctor here if they want to keep pushing this wave in.
I think if Aoi gets Yules at any point, he's probably just going to end up falling.
Well, he's 18 or 800 health. Yeah, Yules, Macro Pyre, Ice Path, Liquid Fire, Dual Breath probably kills him. Just one of those. One of each will be enough. He's going to pop the Macro Pyre, though, and I think that's just to pressure the creep wave and push this tower in him. AUI's got a tough job against him. However, they are rotating heroes in. Fata, again, no Exorcism, but they're going to try to defend this as best as possible. But Denial, they have an understanding. There's a ward here, so... Yeah. They know they rotated and they barely saw Pili die and they barely saw Fata rotate.
And the tower is 3 liquid fires from just going down. So we're probably actually going to see that tier 2 falling fairly soon as Giral actually makes his own rotation into the bottom lane. Oh, Pili die might be in a little bit of trouble.
They're going to go. He's got a haste rune. They're going to just run onto Pili die. He's going to try to TP out and he might make it. The Wolves actually doing a lot of work, but he still survives.
Yeah, they don't care.
And the tower goes down. So. Good effort from Cloud9 to rotate some heroes over. But that tower was going to die eventually. It was inevitable.
And it looks like Paris, after picking up that Yule Scepter, is going to quickly start transitioning into a Mechanism, already picking up the Buckler and almost the Headdress. So he's actually going to have probably something like a 13-minute Mechanism Yule Scepter. I mean, that's just tremendous farm. Getting complete free farm in the bottom lane and 2 tower kills as well as a kill. So doing really well for himself. And now they're going to start putting pressure on the lane that EE is farming.
I mean, he's not even at his mask yet. I think it's flying out. Yeah, there it is. But is that going to be enough? I mean, if they want to fight, they might be able to with this Mask of Madness.
Yeah, but I mean, Liquid Fire does remove 50% attack speed, so going to remove half the attack speed that you gain from that Mask of Madness, and you're going to be taking additional damage as well.
I mean, if you have to jump in beforehand. Mad's going to get chased down by Fata. He's got a double damage rune. Crypt Swarm. Voodoo Restoration just does too much work in the early game for a Witch Doctor. It's just... Yeah, he sustains so effectively with it so that they can't even dive. But
Funzy is level 6 now. Looking for a kill in the top lane.
Bone 7 has a lot of gold, and he's also level 6. Yule Scepter's going to go. The Ice Path, Macro Pyre are going to fly. EE can't time walk out. There's the Roar, the Axes, and EE is dead. He had no points in the backtrack, and this is going to lead into the Tier 1 tower. He's the one that gets ganked rather than him being the ganker, so...
Radiant structures are fortified.
They're going to disrupt Witch Doctor here in the mid lane. Exorcism goes, and they will bring down Mad finally. He's been kind of annoying. A nuisance, if you will, to Fata. He's also going for a Yule Scepter. That's going to be a bit late. They do take down the top tower. That's going to be the Tier 1 falling. Giral's taking some Exorcism damage. Pili die again in some trouble, but these Wolves actually take almost no damage from Crypt Swarm. It's actually kind of ridiculous. They have a lot of magic resistance. So there's that.
And I really like how Denial are playing this early game. Making the correct rotations, putting a lot of pressure on these towers, which you need to do when you have this core Jakiro.
Yules is going to go again. Macro's up in 6. He's not going to use it. Ice Path, Dual Breath first. The Medallion as well. He time walks away.
I mean, that's just so obnoxious.
The Medallion plus Axes is actually ridiculous. It's physical damage coming in. So, it's not even...
It is only level 2.
Yeah, it's not maxed yet, but it's still a pretty big nuke. Especially compared, and when paired, rather, with the Medallion. They're going to try to fight on mid. They're going to try to push this in. Fata, no Exorcism, as you've mentioned, as we saw.
And, very importantly, Fata is not able to secure the mid tower with 1 Exorcism. And Tree should just start casting, probably after this, if there's an engagement.
There might be. Roar's going to come in. Pylai die. Ice Path. They will glyph, but doesn't matter. Pylai die might fall. Stomp's going to go. They avoid it. He's still low, and he's going to take a spill. Paris gets the kill. Coming out with Liquid Fire, I believe. They take the tower as well. No follow-up kills, and Cloud9 are just getting out-pressured at this point. It's not even like the previous game where both teams could evenly farm up and have these late-game carries. Denial have a lot of early-game aggression, and, I mean... Paris Sakshika has a Yules and a mech. I don't know when he got that.
And 1,000 gold.
Yeah, where did he get them? Like, when did he get the mech? At like 11 minutes? How does this happen?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This is ridiculous. Denial are going to take the tier 2 tower, and they might even just keep going at some point. They realize that Exorcism is still down for 22 seconds. EE is not going to come to a fight anytime soon, it seems like. I don't know when you do start fighting.
I don't think you keep going. You need to push out the top and the bottom lanes to limit C9's ability to farm. So Fata does end up getting his Yule Scepter, and yeah, like I said though, Fata wasn't able to get that mid-tier 1 tower with the first Exorcism, so the Living Armor should start to be used on the mid and top tower to heal them back up to full, just making it that much harder for C9 to get anything done.
And for now, it's going to be used, I think, for them to take Roshan, which is... Looks like
pretty easy. C9 does have understanding that this is happening. They are rotating some heroes. Are they going to be able to get the steal?
I think it's going to go down. They won't be able to get the Aegis. They jump in. There's the Aegis going in. They do Chronosphere Giral, and now EE has to leave. He realizes he's going to get roared. The Overgrowth goes as well. There's the Ravage coming in. Giral's low. Exorcism is going to fall. He will not have his Shapeshift. And Creo, now the Death Ward getting popped by Mad, but Funzy taking the licking from EE. He is done. Giral and Mad, they're on the backside. Fata has to back away. He is low. Giral coming through as well. He's going to pop the Howl. There's going to be the cast going in on the backside. Mad, Paris, he's alone. Yules, meanwhile, Mech is going to get popped. Bone 7 with the body blocks. Is it enough? EE right-clicking him as best as possible. Ice Path is going to sail through, but the Anchor Smash secures the kill. And Cloud9, somehow, they just barely get a huge fight going their way. Oh my god. Aegis expended, 4 dead. Gold change of about 3,000 going the way of Cloud9. Huge fight for them.
And I mean, it looked like that fight was actually going to be really good for Denial. They sort of hesitated just slightly, so they were able to get the last hit on Roshan as well as picking up the Aegis. EE only catching the Lycan in the Chrono. Didn't really accomplish much with the initial engagement on the Chronosphere, but the Exorcism and Ravage just doing so much work in that fight. And C9 are able to come ahead in that fight, and I mean, there we see the power of C9's lineup in the mid game. Once they get these tools, they have the Blink Dagger on the Tide, the level 11 the level 2 Exorcism, and I mean, we've talked a lot about the pressure that Denial were able to put on, but was it enough?
That's the question. They're trying to put some more pressure on. They smoke up, and the smoke does dissipate. They get the Scout Hawks going through. They have a couple of Hawks giving vision to them. Actually, the Hawk and the Boar, I should say. And in fact, a couple more Hawks coming in as the other one does die. Fots coming in. His Yules is done after that fight. Giral's still the leading net worth hero right now. I mean, he has a Vlad's. He's got a double damage rune in his bottle. He's got Treads. He's got a Necro 2 coming out.
That being said, I think that is the worst place for Denial to fight against the C9 lineup in the Rosh Pit, because they're all going to be very clustered. It's very easy to get a good Ravage, and an Exorcism just does so much damage. But I think in these straight-up pushes, Denial will have a much easier time combating the team fight of C9.
Mm-hmm. And all of the outer towers have been taken. They have no Aegis. They will have Shapeshift. I don't know. They're looking like they want to keep going here, but I don't... they might go up to the high ground now and force some rotation. Stomp's going to go and stop the push for the time being. Shapeshift is going to go for Giral. He wants to put as much damage with this double damage as possible onto the tower. The DD going in. Now the Chronosphere onto 3 from EE. The Mask Madness, Dural getting low. The Earth Splitter, the Roar. Onto the Tidal after they blow up Dural. He's the only one to die, but here comes Fatsa. The Death Ward's going to go. There's the Overgrowth. Fatsa getting low. Fatsa is going to fall. But there's the Blink Ravage for Bone 7. Cryo's about to fall as well. He might go down. AUI 2000. He's trying to right-click him. Now here comes the Spirit. The Stomp, not going to go. It will get charged up. No, he cancels it. Funzy ends up getting blocked up by the illusions. The Axis will go. He has to time walk away, but already this is C9's fight. They've pushed them back. 3 are already dead. Cryo does have his invis. He's going to come out of it. They will spot him out. They don't have detection, not on AUI anyways. Bone 7 jumps through, uses the Anchor Smash wildly, does not catch on anybody. And Cryo backs off, as the rest of them will make it out. But big fight again from C9.
I don't think Denial are playing this correctly. I feel like when you have this Jakiro and you're sieging the base especially, you can just use the Necronomicon units, use the wolves, and just constantly liquid fire the tower and kill it with summons and the Howl. And instead they try to hit it with 3 heroes. They get caught in a 3-man Chronosphere, and the fight just goes disastrously for them. And I think they only get 1 more of those, and then I believe C9 will have a commanding advantage. So looks like they are going to rotate back to the top lane, knowing that both the Exorcism and the Ravage will not be available for this fight. Chronosphere is most likely going to be available by the time that they get to top lane, and this is Denial's chance to really put on the pressure.
I mean, like you said, they have to get something done here. But I don't know if popping the Shapeshift and going up to the high ground with the double damage rune is going to do it for you, as you mentioned. So it's going to be tough. It's tough for both squads. Yule Scepter goes in. Defensive disruption. There was no Ice Path follow-up. Really good play from Pylodad to make sure Paris doesn't get the Ice Path macro pyre. I mean, Bone 7 was up at the high ground. Anchor Smash goes. He pops the Shapeshift again.
Oh, that's a really good cast.
Ward. Bone 7 already dead. Buys back immediately. The sleep goes in. Fatsa, but there's a 4-man Chrono coming in. The Earth Splitter does so much work, but where's the follow-up? The Silence going in. It's onto a couple of heroes. Now the Blink. No Ravage, but the Anchor Smash does so much damage. Jiral's still alive. He's going to try to get out, but here comes Bone 7. Ravage up at 25. No Exorcism. There's the Roar into Fatsa. Do they have the damage? I'm not sure. No Death Ward. The cast coming at Jiral. He doesn't have Shapeshift. Great Yule Scepter defensively from Fatsa. Backs away. He's still got the Urn. It's on to... Actually, that's a negative Urn charge going in, but they will not chase further. Bone 7 has Blink Ravage in 10, but they will push them back. EE did go down, not forced to buy back there. Great Chronosphere again. Eternal Envy making sure things stay about even. 2 kills, 2 buybacks.
So only Bone 7 was forced to buy back, correct?
I think the Treant bought back as well to get Living Armor off. He might have saved somebody. I'm not sure who, but it said he bought back, so.
I mean, I really, like I said, I think Denial are actually just playing this wrong. And I think it might actually be too late to rectify their mistake. I think they really needed to acknowledge how they're supposed to siege this tower with the summons and the liquid fire. And when you do that, you're not putting any heroes at risk except for the Jakiro. And Jakiro's only at risk every 5 seconds for about a half a second when he's running up to... Oh, looks like they are going to find the Treant.
He's going to get Soul Catchered. Yeah, he's actually just dead. He broke the smoke, but that's a small price to pay. He's down for 34 seconds. They're going to try to split push in the meantime. They're looking for Fatsa. Roar is available, but the rest of the heroes are rotating back around for Cloud9, so they're not going to go for the kill. And they just are going to sit in the jungle and try to farm.
Yeah, and at this point it might actually be too late to go for a push where they just use the summons and the Jakiro spamming liquid fire, because I think Jakiro might actually just die in a chrono at this point in time.
Yeah. If he walks up and he tries to liquid fire anybody, he's just going to get either Yules or Ravaged or Chronoed. One of those 3, and then they're going to get run at.
Did you have the book 3 now completed on Jiral? I believe it was a book 2 in the previous engagement.
Yeah, it was. He picked it up. Oh, well, hold that thought. He actually is going to get stomped as well. The Silence going, his Shapeshift is going to get used, but there's the Chronosphere on the edge. Jiral is just dead. The Earth Splitter going in, and, I mean, that's more than enough damage to kill that Lycan is. He's dead for 50 seconds now, and they're going to push down. They want this tier 1 tower top, and Fatsa is making a beeline for it. Fudzy will TP back towards the tower. Ice Path coming in to stop the pressure. Fatsa coming through. Exorcism is done in about, I'd say, 10 to 15 seconds. He really wants to put as much damage as he possibly can on this tower. The Living Armor is bringing it back up, and Exorcism is done. And they don't have a creep wave. And they're actually going to TP home.
Yeah, and if we look at golds, it's about even now on the side of Cloud9, and a huge experience advantage, 5,000 in the favor of Cloud9 at this point, and these team fights are just getting harder and harder. I think they have to make something happen right now while the Chronosphere and the Exorcism are on cooldown.
It feels like almost Denial are rushing, almost scared to a certain extent with these engagements a lot of the time. Not to say that they're still in that bad of a position. We talked about it. They're even in gold right now, but the Faceless Void's going to just become even more of a problem. And already you can see the split pushing coming in. Luckily, they have a Treant, so they can get away with, you know, just all going top while they split push. So then I think the Astral and the Stomp has been pretty big. It's been pretty impressive to watch. And AUI has been doing a nice job getting these Astral and these Spirit Stomps coming in. Without those, I don't know if this game's as close as it is. And more so than anything else, it's the Yules, the Chronospheres especially, that have been coming out. Bone 7's had some great Ravages as well. They're going to get stomped up again. This time it's only Paris. He's going to get silenced. Blink Ravage is going to go. Bone 7 the Initiator. Jump in. Chronosphere onto 2. Giral, he's going to take a spill. No living armor. There's the Overgrowth coming through. Earth Splitter onto 2 as well. Matt's dead. They're looking for more. Creo's getting chased down. Bone 7 hammering away with his giant-ass sword. There's the Gush coming in. And on the other side, there's the Yule Scepter up onto Paris. 4 steps up onto the high ground. TP's away. He will make it out somehow. They didn't have vision there. They had no idea he was TPing out. But in the end, again, Cloud9, they do expend everything one more time, but they do end up getting a 2-for-0 exchange out of it, which actually gives them 1,000 gold.
I think that's the beginning of the end. I think Denial are finally running out of gas. It's really unfortunate that they're losing this, because they played so well the first 10 minutes of the game, and then they just mis-executed these base pushes. I think it actually started with that Roche, when I think that was the first time the fight really started going the way towards C9. Maybe instead of going for a Roche attempt, they should have just gone for a base push.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure. They could have gone in. They had an opportunity where it looked like he wasn't ready to fight yet, and they could have gone to the high ground and maybe put some damage on the tower. And had they taken a tier 3 in the process of that, they might be in a better position.
Meanwhile, but now they're actually on the back foot. Chronosphere Earth Splitter combination doing so much work in these last few engagements.
And Titan's good now, right?
Yeah, they actually can't deal with even 2 of the ultimates being available for Cloud9. In that last engagement, there was no Exorcism available, and they still got wiped. So,
I mean, we're talking about 4 ults that are actually just ridiculous. The only thing that's really not there is Shadow Demons.
Yeah, I mean, I think the window for Denial has finally closed, and it's not like they really have anything to fall back on into the late game. Sure, Lycan's good, but I mean, against a Void, Death Prophet, Elder Titan, Tide, not going to be too effective.
It would be a lot better if they had no way of shutting him down from running away, like stopping him in his tracks. And that's actually just, he can't escape. There's too many things. I mean, like, he could shapeshift, but it's better that he shapeshifts for the engagements rather than shapeshifting to get away at this point, because honestly, he's not getting out if he dies, or if he gets caught out, rather. He's just going to go down, so. The Blink Dagger now done for funsies. That's great and all, but I don't know how much that provides. They haven't been able to initiate. It's sort of similar to the last game where they're not the ones initiating. It feels like they're the ones getting initiated on. So Cloud9 have, again, better fighting potential. And this seems to be the case of 6.82 in general. It's less about pushing down all the towers like it was in 6.81 at TI4, and more about farming up as fast as possible or getting enough farm to be effective in these early fights. And, I mean, it got pretty close. Denial are not dead yet. It sounds like I'm reading their eulogy, but they're not dead. They still have a long way to go before Cloud9 take this game. Although, a lot of life for Cloud9 now. If we look at the graphs here, it's still pretty even in net worth. Experience-wise, there is an 8,000 experience lead, although it does zip up for a moment as the do start to farm evenly. But there's a heart done. There's a Aghanim's done now. Aghanim's for E, heart for Fata. He'll probably not die. Now that he has not only that, but a plate mail.
Yeah. Aghanim's actually a really intelligent pickup from EE. I mean, we've seen in these engagements, the thing that has kept C9 in this game are these ultimates. So increasing not only the duration of the ultimate, but more importantly, decreasing the cooldown from 90 to 60 at that level 16 ultimate is going to be really important for them.
Necropyre, Ravage goes. Only onto Paris, it might be worth it. Chronosphere onto 2. They force him into the Chrono. Although not doing much damage, as Paris have the living armor, doesn't matter. They absolutely get the kill. Funzy gets perma-bashed, and it's a double kill for Eternal Envy. And that's just, it's easy. It's easy for them. Buyback coming in. Dural is actually taking Roche in the meantime, and he might actually take an Aegis here. Exorcism is going to go, and Dural is, he can't even get Roche. Fata just steals the Aegis. He takes Roche and the Aegis. The Exorcism is blowing up. The Death Ward is not going to do anything, immediately getting stopped as he's blown up. Double kill for Fata. Gush out, and if they get this kill, I think they might just call GG. EE going to jump on top of the Lycan. 4 dead, and now it's just C9's time to push down all of these towers, which, luckily for Denial, they still have 2 tier 1s left. And at least Paris is alive. He might make a beeline to the top lane and try to push into this tier 3 tower. And that might provide them some comfort away from the pressure of Cloud9, but even that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's about as bad as it gets. Not only do you lose Hero's top lane, you're about to take Roshan, and then it just gets swept from under your feet. Like, Fata just steals Roche and the Aegis. It wasn't even a statch. It was a stolen Roshan and a stolen Aegis.
Yeah, the Yule Scepter really well timed. I mean, and EE does have Chrono again.
They're going to kill AUI, it looks like. He's low. He doesn't have a mech.
Yeah,
he does have a gem, so that's gone. Funzy picks that up. He was actually TPing away, but he picks up the gem. He was going to use the TP and then obviously pick up the gem with the empty slot, so he does that. And, nice play. They do get the tier 1 tower in the meantime. They should have another gem coming soon if they want to buy one. I don't know why I'm clicking there. Just click in the shop and see. It's actually not available for another 5 minutes, so they'll have to find the gem of Funzy. I think that might have been AUI's gem. I'm not sure. No, I think it was Funzy.
I'm not sure who had it originally.
It was AUI's gem, yeah. That was the only gem that's been purchased, obviously,
okay.
So. Yeah, they can't purchase another one for about 6 minutes or so. Bone 7's already building to a refresher. And I guess Cloud9 are just, there's no real pressure anymore for them to try to fight. They'll just keep farming him until they've eventually choked out Denial.
Mm-hmm. So if we look at the item progression for Denial, we have the Aghanims completed on Witch Doctor, so that is a big item for them. They are going to scout out Fata in the top lane, but that doesn't really do too much. Shiva's now picked up for Fata, so this Death Prophet actually going from having a really rough start. I think he finished his Yules at about 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So he had Yules phase at 15 minutes, and now at 30 minutes having his Shivas and Heart fully completed. So, I mean, really nice comeback for him.
3 or 4 1-team fights plus a bit of CS is going to do that to you, I think.
Yeah.
It's actually absurd how much farm Fata has gotten. And he's only getting more farmed as the game progresses. Stomp goes. I don't think it hits anybody. EE is split pushing bottom, so he's just going to be looking to find a tower. He has an Aghanim Scepter now. I don't know if he's got enough damage on his own to kill Dural.
He doesn't, because he would also get tree armored.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think he's got enough. He needs more right click. Funzy's getting brought low. The Gush coming in. The right click. The Astral's got to come through. They don't need the Spirit. They're going to get their Jet back, and we'll see. I think maybe Bone 7 pick it up.
Okay,
or
if
he's going to give to AUI.
He bashed him like 4 times before the Chronos, so I guess he does have enough damage.
Oh, I didn't even see that. He kills him. All right, we got our answer to our question. Well, I mean, if you get that kind of RG, I suppose you have enough damage, yeah. He actually did take some from the backlash. He didn't get backtrack for it. The last will, I guess, for the...
Also, I don't think any living armor came out, so... And 2 falling for Denial. I'm just not sure what they can do anymore to come back and win this game.
It's a tall order, to be sure. They still have an opportunity. Pylai is going to disrupt and find fucking mad. He's got a Soul Catcher. There's going to be the Demonic Purge, the Cask. Gus from Bone 7, he comes out of nowhere with the Blink Dagger. Living Armor's going to keep him alive, but Fata just comes in and blows him. Like, he literally just throws a Crypt Storm in his face and actually just says, "How are you?" and kills him. So, I mean, they're losing supports, they're losing cores, they're losing everybody at this point. They're split pushing for Cloud9. They're trying to take multiple towers across the map.
And it's not even like they can look for engagements while this Chrono's on cooldown because they have an Aghanim. So.
Oh, they're going to roar Pylite die, luckily. And this might be a kill that they can secure. Earth Splitter's going to go. Funzi and Creo do avoid it. On the backside, here comes Fatsu, though. Exorcism. The Overgrowth is going to fly. I think they might be able to get only one kill out of this. And it's just going to be Creo. The tower is going to fall. It looks like they're looking for more. There's the Ravage. They're going to get 2 out of it. Bone 7. He ravages up Paris. It's a double kill for Fatsu. They're going to head down to the top lane. They're looking for more. Jarrah on the backside. He's getting chased out. Shapeshift Silence is up a little bit too late. No Yule's there. The Yule's is there for AUI, but he's too far away. And actually, Jarrah is just going to be able to run his ass out of there. And it looks like they will make their way towards the tier 2 push mid. They will have a Witch Doctor coming back in. Fatsu's ult is now down. Shivas is going to go. No Ravage. Bone 7 has that down for 122 seconds. Gush, Funzi, you are in a bad place. Stomp actually connects, and he's going to get Anchor Smash and right-click to death, so. Yules, they're actually looking for more. There's no silence. Gush is not there for a second. There's the Anchor Smash. Gush is going to go. Crypt Swarm, right-click, dead. Bone 7 is dominating, and they are just...
So, at what point do you call GG? There's almost the refresher completed on both EE and Bone 7. Yeah, refresher actually completed on EE, so he has Aghanim's refresher on Void.
I mean, if they lose a Rex,
10 seconds of Chrono, and that's going to be GG.
That's it.
That would actually be 12 seconds.
It's too much to deal with this Cloud9. They get back on their feet after 15 minutes of somewhat decent pain being inflicted by Denial. Yeah. And Cloud9 just show them that they've got the better late game. Eternal Envy hits some big chronos, so.
Yeah. I would say a bit of
you got it.
Misexecution coming out from Denial on the base pushes, and possibly even a bit of odd decision making as far as going for the Roshan instead of going for a base push. When you're that far ahead and you look at C9's lineup, you have to say to yourself, how do we lose this game? Because they were about 10,000 gold ahead extremely early, and I'm sure if we had a stats man, they would say, you know, if you're that ahead at that point in the game, you're probably, I don't know, 80% likely to win or something. And they just took a Roshan fight. You know, the Chrono wasn't even that spectacular in that fight, but they were just in such a choke, and the Death Prophet level 2 Exorcism as well as the Ravage just did so much work. I think they traded 3 for maybe 1 hero. I don't even know if they traded. No, they didn't trade any heroes. And then they went for that top push. They put too many heroes in danger instead of just slowly sieging with summons and the Liquid Fire. They got too many people chronoed and ravaged, and that was pretty much the end of the game off that fight.
Yeah, that was going to do it for Denial. They put a lot into the early game pressure, but no such luck in coming out on top. So Denial go down. That'll be their second loss today. And Cloud9 off to a fast start. That's going to be a 2-0 start for Cloud9, as it is already like we're 2 months into the season, and this is the first series that Cloud9 have played. So they've got a lot of work to do in the next couple of weeks, obviously. So a big schedule from them. They have teams like Empire and Secret to face. And speaking of that, I believe it's Cloud9 versus Empire tomorrow. I could be wrong about that. I will have the schedule up momentarily. But for us, we are going to say our goodbyes as we're going to be done for the day. For those of you that have stayed tuned with us here through the 60-minute Farm Fest and for the 30-minute action-packed Kill Fest, I do appreciate you joining us. Of course, my name is Mott. With me is F4L. You can check us out on Twitter. That's F4L Dota for him. And at Mott Dota, that's at MAUT Dota on Twitter. And DotaPit as well for the Twitter of DotaPit, DotaPit.com for more information. Shout out to our sponsors, Twitch, Tessero, Sapphire, AMD, and Sennheiser. We're going to take a very long break as we'll be back tomorrow with 2 games. 11:45 Eastern, 17:45 CET will be our first series, which I believe is going to be... Let's check it out, actually, while I've got a moment here. If I can scroll over on the docket. Looking at tomorrow, it's going to be C9 versus Team Empire to lead things off, and then it's actually a doubleheader for Empires. They have Navi US shortly after at 20:15 CET, which is, if I'm doing my math, let's see, 2:15 Eastern Time. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have more games for you then. Until then, sayonara. See y'all later.